welcome to another episode of Veterans View. And my name is Leroy Davis, and I'm your host, retired Navy Chief Petty Officer. And today we're here with Dr. Abdullah here in beautiful Phenix City, right off from the football stadium. And Dr. Abdullah, can you tell us a little something about yourself, where you're from, and where you went to school at?
Yes, so my name is Siraj Abdullah. I've been in Phenix City here practicing sports medicine, family medicine about 1 year now. Originally from Champaign, Illinois. It's a little small town about the size, similar to like an Auburn area. Grew up there, more rural type area. Went to school at Eastern Illinois University in Charleston, Illinois, and then also did some of my training in school at University of North Carolina, Greensboro, where I took most of my basic science courses, and then transitioned and got accepted to medical school at Virginia College of Osteopathic Medicine in Blacksburg, Virginia, Virginia Tech. After that, I went on to complete my training at University of South Carolina in Columbia, South Carolina, and then did additional training in sports medicine at the University of South Carolina, where I was team physician for the Gamecocks and also for South Carolina State University.
Well, that's great. You know, I had a sports medicine doctor when I lived in Tuscaloosa. I had just got back from being stationed in Iceland, and they couldn't find out, none of the doctors, military doctors couldn't find out why I was having such starving pain in my calf. And I went to see a sports medicine doctor, and he said, I know what's wrong, but I've got to send you to a heart doctor first. And it was circulation problem.
Okay.
So I really believe
Yes,
in sports medicine, because the symptoms that I gave him, he knew exactly what it was. You said that you attend Auburn University for a while?
So after I left South Carolina, I transitioned to Auburn University, where I was one of the team physicians there.
Okay.
So I took care of all the athletes over there between football, gymnastics, equestrian, basketball. And so for the last 6 years, I was at Auburn taking care of all the athletes for injury-wise, for medical illnesses, travel with all the different teams to Mexico, went to Final Four with the basketball team.
Great.
And so that, and then in addition to that, I was teaching over at the medical school.
Okay. Now, it's one thing I want our viewers to understand. You say, well, Veterans View, why are you interviewing Dr. Abdullah in sports medicine? Because we have a lot of active duty Rangers out there. We have a lot of retired Rangers, the veterans and everything, who have those same kind of injuries that you get from playing sports. So in order to make sure you know that he's here, we wanted to do this interview. Now, Doc, tell us something else about yourself that you want the audience to know.
It was a good point you made about a lot of veterans in sports medicine. In sports medicine, we say the military is the biggest sports team that we have.
Yes,
and
sir.
so they have a lot of different injuries. You know, at the college level and professional level, we see some of those guys or girls get injured. But at the military, we get a lot of our research from the military. A lot of the guys, because of and young ladies, they put their body through a lot of different things, whether it be marching with the rucksack or jumping from plane, being a paratrooper. It takes a lot of wear and tear on the body, the joints, the muscles, and so it really is one of those things where sports medicine, I think it helps a lot in getting those individuals, whether they're active duty or retired, is so they can continue on with the things they enjoy doing.
Right.
So.
And we just, again, want to make sure that our viewing audience know that, hey, you're a veteran, you're a retiree, and if the base hospital is full, ask for a referral and come to see Dr. Abdullah.
Yes, sir.
Now, Dr. Abdullah, you are tied in with Piedmont. Would you tell us something about that?
Yeah, so I've been with Piedmont about the last year here in Phenix City. So my practice consists of course, sports medicine, but also see some of my family medicine patients also. With Piedmont is, of course, as most of your viewers probably know, it's a large system. In Phenix City, we have 3 different practices here, but in Columbus, we have multiple practices outside of Atlanta. And so with Piedmont, it allows, the patients I see to have more resources. If I need to refer them to somewhere, or I need to get any type of test or imaging done, it's a lot of resources that Piedmont provides.
And that's another reason why I wanted to interview you, so that the citizens of Phenix City, Russell County, Alabama know that we do have great qualified doctors here in Phenix City.
Yes, sir.
And they're just moving in every day.
Yes, sir.
And we're glad to have you. In our closing, would you like to say anything? Like give out your phone number, your website, and stuff of that nature?
Sure. The office address is 1810 Stadium Drive, Phenix City, Alabama. Phone number wise is 344-844-8303. In addition to the sports medicine, just so people know more about what sports medicine consists of, is yes, keeping everybody active. It's not just athletes, the veterans, but you have that grandparent or that uncle, aunt who wants to go to a wedding or go on a vacation, not have pain in the knees or shoulders or anything like that. In addition, I specialize in MSK ultrasound, and so a lot of times I do diagnostic and interventional ultrasound to help treat and diagnose different injuries. And then also I focus on concussion management. So I'm an expert in concussion. That's mostly what I did, a lot of that in my training and throughout the last few years. And working with some of the local athletes at Central and Glenwood, and also with the River Dragons and Chattahoochee, who had an awesome season, their first inaugural season. That's a lot of what I did, was take care of their injuries, and also if there was a concussion, manage those too.
Well, great. And I think not that I think, I want to welcome you to Phenix City, Russell County, and I don't want you to forget about Russell County High School out there. They got football players and basketball, baseball, and we just got it all right here. And we are growing so much, and so we're glad to have you here to serve the citizens of the Chattahoochee Valley, not just Phenix City. So even if you're in Columbus watching us, hey, he's here in Phenix City, just a stone throw away. Okay? So we thank you, Doctor, for this interview.
You, sir.
And we welcome you to our town.
Glad to be here.
And we'll see you next time on Veterans View.
So I learned I had breast cancer when I was 42. I'm 45 now. And I saw on the caller ID that it was the hospital calling, and I answered. And I had had 3 biopsies prior throughout my life on my breast, and they all came back benign. And generally when they come back benign, you get a call and the nurse tells you that information. This time the nurse got on the phone and said, "Do you have a minute to talk to the doctor?" My knees went numb. I just had this feeling in my stomach, this isn't good. So I told my husband first, and then we told the girls that evening at dinner. And I remember Natalie, my youngest, she was probably 8 at the time, and she was very concerned about me losing my hair. She said, "Mommy, are you gonna lose all your hair?" And I said, "I don't know, sweetheart, but we're gonna treat this and get through it." And I've tried to have a very positive outlook the whole entire time, along with a great support system is what got me through the journey that God put me on. I found out in November that I had the breast cancer, and within that next month, I had had 2 surgeries to get the clear margins to be cancer-free, and then follow up with treatment with my oncologist, Dr. Pippis, and my radiation oncologist, Dr. Cupa.
Jennifer's a wonderful patient, wonderful person, very kind heart, and she went through treatment several years ago, has been doing well since then. She was a trooper through it all, always concerned about her family, always concerned about those around her. I remember there was a car wreck, one time no fault of their own, when she was in the middle of treatment. And she was concerned about her family and her children, even though she was battered and bruised, showed up for treatment, didn't miss any treatment, keep coming with that same wonderful attitude and smile every day. She really did a wonderful job throughout her treatment.
Everyone has their own way of dealing with tough stuff. I found a great way in checking boxes. That was how I dealt with it. And and looking at every day as a blessing. The John B. Amos Cancer Center has some amazing nurses and physicians who all provide an overwhelming amount of support. So I can't imagine what it must be like to go through cancer in these COVID times and to come here and be alone. But you're really not alone here. There's always someone here to support you, whether it's another patient who's going through something very similar, or it's a member of the medical community that is willing to be a listening ear, a helping hand, a shoulder to cry on.
Folks from outside of Columbus come here and see what's here, and they're often in awe of what a city, they say like Columbus, I think Columbus is wonderful, but they say a city like Columbus can do this. But that's from lots of folks over lots of years that have, again, pulled together all the resources, put it in one place, so when the patients come here, there's one place they can come. They know that everything's going to be here and that they're going to be taken well care of.
One of my daughters, Sophia, did something very special for me. So she made these rings. She called them radiation rings, and it was kind of like papers that were tied together, a chain of papers, and it was 33 of them. That's how many treatments I had, and we put that on each bedpost in my bedroom, and each day I would come home after radiation treatments. I would pull a ring off until I finished, and that's probably the most special thing that anyone's ever done for me. When I finished my radiation treatments, I was able to come up to the John B. Amos Cancer Center and ring the bell. And it was an amazing experience. It was just kind of like a weight lifted off my shoulders, that I felt so happy and just free of cancer. And it's something that I'll never forget. So we celebrated in that way.
Welcome to another episode of Veterans View, and we're here in Phenix City, Alabama, and we're with Dr. Adrienne Crow, a part of Piedmont. So tell us, Dr. Crow, where you grew up at, went to school.
Yes. So I am from the area. I grew up in Columbus, Georgia. My family is from Fort Mitchell and Seal, Alabama, so I have strong ties to the Alabama side. I graduated from Columbus High School. So I went to Meharry Medical College. It's in Nashville, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. So I am board certified. So the letters behind my name indicate that I'm a fellow of obstetrics and gynecology.
Okay, and so that also means that you deliver babies.
Absolutely.
Do you keep up with how many you delivered?
I do not. I can tell you everyone that I deliver is special. I enjoy what I do. I take care of women from the start of pregnancy to delivery, if that's a vaginal delivery or a C-section. And then I'm also a gynecologist, so I take care of adolescents all the way up to women that are in menopause, routine PAPs, hysterectomies.
Okay, great. Now, give me a ballpark figure of what you think you have delivered, because I think that's very important.
Hundreds.
Hundreds. So
Yes.
that says that you are a great doctor when people put that much trust in you to do that.
Yes, I would like to think so. I believe in empowering women to educate them so that they can make their own decisions. So I don't make any decisions for my patients. I give them the tools to make an informed and educated decision.
Okay, great. Now tell us about some of your travels since you graduated from college and you've been licensed and everything.
Yes.
So I know you moved from place to place.
Yes.
And so talk about that for a moment with us.
Yes. So when I finished training, which was in Macon, Georgia, I decided to leave the area. I went to South Carolina. I also went down to South Georgia, and then I traveled. I was a locums physician, which is just a traveling physician, and during that time, I was in the Midwest. This is my first time practicing back at home. I've been here since July of 2020, and it has been, a wonderful experience. I plan to be here. This is home. I've enjoyed taking care of the women in this area.
And tell us something about the women that you get. I mean, I know you get them from Georgia, from Alabama, from Auburn area.
Yes.
Tell us something about that.
Yes, so I'm Piedmont's only physician actually in the state of Alabama. I have patients that come from Albany, Opelika, Auburn. I actually have patients that span a nice breadth of area.
Okay. So I'm sure you're getting from Barber County too then.
Yes.
With the virus going on and everything, have
Yes.
that changed how you have to treat your patients in any way?
Well, we're just more cautious. So, patients still come in wearing a mask. I will allow them to bring another, a guest with them. Over at the hospital, when they go in to deliver, the restrictions now the restrictions are still in place for one visitor only. That visitor can swap out. So one visitor at one time.
Right.
But they can swap out that visitor.
Right. So are you doing deliveries here at Jack Houston as well as over at Piedmont?
No, I'm Piedmont employed, so I do everything at Piedmont.
Piedmont. Okay, great.
Yes.
Great. So I understand you're going to be moving here pretty soon.
Yes, so we will be relocating the practice. Right now, we're in a smaller practice. We're going to be moving to the medical plaza located on Stadium Drive, the first floor. They're building out a suite.
Okay, great. So that means it'll give you more room than what you have here.
Yes, it's going to be more room. There's going to be a radiology suite. There's going to be other providers as well, primary care that's going to be in the same suite.
Okay, great. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about your practice, or you want the people of Phenix City and Russell County and Muskogee County to know?
Yes. Well, now that I'm here, for the women that have been leaving the area, they no longer have to leave. I provide excellent care. I meet patients where they are. I take time with them. I answer their questions. I believe that you should never leave your doctor's office with questions. Ask the questions. If you need to write them down, you need to be empowered to make the decisions that you choose to make, because at the end of the day, it's your health and you own it, and you get to make the decisions.
And also, I just want to share, you can share with our audience
Yes.
that you are on the list for TRICARE.
Yes.
And currently looking to be on the list for the VA.
Okay. Yes, I'm actually on most insurance. I would guess I probably could only name one insurance company that we do not accept. But yes, I have lots of TRICARE patients, and I welcome them.
Okay, so now you've heard it straight from Dr. Crow's mouth that she is accepting patients, and she is on the TRICARE list and on most providers list. So if you do have a question, you look across the bottom of the screen there, and you'll see her phone number and her email address. So that's Dr. Adrienne Crow right here in Phenix City, Alabama. Thank you.